Mapalad tayo ngayon, Carla, dahil makakasama natin ang nanalo sa first ever Mr. Grand International na ginanap po dito sa ating bansa.
Kaya naman dahil wag na natin patagalin pa, let us all welcome Mr. Michael Angelo Skilas, the first ever Mr. Grand International 2017.
Hi, Michael Angelo, congratulations!
Congrats and welcome.
We're here at the center. How do we call you? Michael Angelo, or do you have a nickname?
Michael, just call me Michael.
Michael.
Simple and easy for everyone here.
All right, so
I really like her accent. Australian
from Australia. Okay, look. Later on.
Nah, it's because it's Greek.
Actually,
They call us a wogs. I got a wog accent.
okay,
Not
Michael,
Australian.
tell all our viewers today what is Mr. Grand International all about?
Alright, so Mr. Grand International was obviously an international pageant. It was with 25 countries all over the world, and it's all about masculinity, sports, and tourism. Like, we were really into sports. We did a lot of activities. We went to different schools promoting sports, do speeches, and everything.
So did you enjoy the pageant, the whole pageant?
Of course,
How
of
did
course
you
I
find
did.
it?
From day one, I enjoyed it. It was something different for me because I've never been into pageants before. So it was my first one, and you know, I went there and I did my best and enjoyed the whole month.
And you won.
And I won, yes.
Michael, I
First
learned that
pageant.
you
First
are the youngest in the batch. How young are you?
19 years old, yeah, the youngest
Only
one.
19.
19 years old.
Wow.
And you got the title even if you are the youngest. So very good job. So you told us that Mr. Grand International is about sports and tourism.
Yes.
So that means you're an athlete.
Yes, I am myself. I've been into sports since I can remember myself, when I was a little kid.
What sport do you play?
Look, I've tried probably all of the sports, a variety from soccer, basketball, volleyball,
Very
hockey. I
athletic.
did horse riding when I was in Greece. I did a lot, but my main is soccer and rugby in Australia.
Okay.
So how will you advance that advocacy for sports and tourism now that you won as Mr. Grand International?
First of all, my personal advocacy is about introducing sports to primary schools and to the kids to get to know it from a young age. So we are going next year, we're gonna do a lot of tours around to different high schools and colleges, talking about sports and promoting sports. And that's also another way to promote our Mr. Grand advocacy about sports and about tourism.
Okay, Michael.
For schools to get the young.
That's a very nice advocacy. But I want to ask, is this your first time in the Philippines?
No.
No?
So you've been
So
here many
you've been
times.
No, actually, during the pageant, it was my first time.
Yes.
Then I went back to Sydney.
Oh, okay.
And once I won, the very next day I went back to Sydney, and now I came back. So that's my second time.
So
Okay.
what's next for you,
yeah.
Michael? Since you won as Mr. Grand International, will you do some projects here in the Philippines?
Yes, I'll be doing projects here in the Philippines along with the Mr. Grand organization. I was also crowned as Mr. Crossroads Center,
Okay.
which was the venue where the finals were held in Crescent City. And I also got an endorsement with Placenta,
Okay.
That's nice.
promoting the new product line, New Placenta for Men. So I'll be doing work with them, and
So we'll get to see more of Michael here in the Philippines.
I'll be around.
right.
Yeah.
Girls might be asking, are you single or are you
Yes, I
looking
am.
for a Filipina girlfriend?
Now I don't know now specifically Filipina. I don't know what she will be.
But how
what
do you find
nationality.
Filipino girls?
They're nice, they're good looking.
That's it.
Carla is single, by the way.
No, but I'm his ate na. Ate niya na.
You know, you never know who you're gonna like. If it's a Filipino, if it's Australian or whatever.
Okay.
So I'm not very, restricted. Whatever happens, happens.
But after the pageant, are you going back to Sydney, or are you going to continue with your projects here in the Philippines, your advocacies? What's your
Yes.
plan?
So once I won on October 6th, October 7th, I went back to Sydney because I'm still a full-time student in Australia.
Okay.
Oh,
What
And-
course are you taking there?
Marketing.
Marketing.
Yes.
That's nice.
So I had to go back. Now I'm here for 2 weeks to kind of start everything.
Okay.
Okay, that's
Were you
And-
able to travel in some parts of the Philippines?
Not really, not yet.
You should.
super
Yes,
busy.
you should visit,
You should
our
visit so
beautiful
many
country.
I wanna
beautiful
go
tourist
Boracay.
destinations. Okay, you want to go to Boracay.
Yeah, that one.
And
That's one of the
Palawan, I
best
suggest you
islands
should go
here
to
in the
Palawan.
Philippines.
I've heard this
Best
before.
island.
And
They told me
also,
about
you
it.
should try Filipino food. Have
Yes,
you
have you
tried
tried
some of the
Filipino
Filipino
food?
food?
Yeah, of course.
What's your
we always
favorite?
eat in Filipino restaurants.
All right, so Michael,
favorite
for
island.
those who would like also to be part of Mr. Grand International, what are the qualification or requirements? What should they prepare so that they can follow your footsteps?
So if you want to join Mr. Grand International next year, yes, of course, yeah, you gotta have the looks, you gotta have the tight. Now, I'm not very tall to be a catwalk model. Yeah, but you gotta have the looks, you gotta be physically trained. You gotta have a nice physique and be able to handle sports because, again, Mr. Grand is about sports. So during the competition, like for example, Miss Earth, they're going to different environmental stuff.
Yes.
We did a lot of sports activities, and you gotta be able to. Your cardio has to be up very high to be able to handle the pressure. So you gotta be athletic. You gotta be into sports. You gotta like sports first of all, because all we talk about is sports. You know, to be able to enjoy the pageant and follow through. Because if you're not interested, you're not gonna give your 100%. You know what I mean? So you gotta be into sports first of all. Second of all, it's character plays a very big role into winning. You know, be yourself. Don't try to act as if something you're not, so that you can win, because it shows. It's obvious you're a try-hard if you do so. So just be yourself, be natural, and you know, follow along. It's not very hard.
Very
actually.
well said. Thank you very much for joining us
pleasure.
here. It's our pleasure to have you here on the show. Again, we had Michael Angelo Skilas, Mr. Grand International 2017.
Thank you so much. And
Salamat
again,
po.
congratulations.